The second you think of something, you've got it intellectually. When you get emotionally involved, you've got it on a spiritual or emotional level. Well, then that expresses itself through the body. Body's just an instrument of your mind. And so when you really buy into it, you literally fuse with it. Neville said you fuse with it. And this causes all kinds of things to happen. You're dealing with electronics. You're dealing with energy. Like the second you think something, that's all you need. See, you live on frequencies. You think on frequencies. Your phone operates on frequencies. And it's like magic. You're living on frequencies. Now, when you think of something, what you've done is you've flipped your brain onto a higher frequency. The very fact you can see it is all the proof you need to know you could get it. What you have to do is raise your level of consciousness to that frequency. And then you will attract whatever's on that frequency. All the good you need to manifest the idea. Carnegie said that way back in 1908 to Hill. When Carnegie commissioned him to write this book, he said, any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, so it could be bad or good, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. It starts to move into form. Natural laws of the universe are so precise that we don't have any difficulty sending people to the moon, and we can time the landing with a precision of a fraction of a second. Well, one of the first laws is the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is forever moving into form, through form and back into form. Now, what makes you and I unique is we can dictate the form it's going to move into, because we're creative beings. Like all the little creatures on the planet are completely at home in their environment. They blend in. You and I are the only people, or the only creatures on the planet, the human, that is totally disoriented in their environment. And that's because we've been given the mental faculties to create our own environment. See, when you're going after what you want, and that's one of the big problems with people when they set goals. They set a goal to do what they think they can do. Well, there's no inspiration in that. It's got to be what you want to do. See, wants come from the essence of who we are. We're spiritual beings. And we are a soul. We don't have a soul, we are a soul. And the soul is forever seeking its awareness of its oneness with that which is, which I call God. Well, spirit's always for expansion and fuller expression. It's never for disintegration. So there's a basic law of the universe. If you're not growing, you're dying. It's create or disintegrate. Nothing stays where it is. We live in an ocean of motion.
Entropy.
So it's the spirit within. Our spiritual DNA is perfect. There's perfection within every one of us. Well, it's that perfection seeking expression through us. It causes us to want. If you run, you want to run faster. If you jump, you want to jump higher. If you're selling, you want to sell more. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you want to do it better. When people understand where wants come from, that's when their life starts to change, I think. When we're kids, we go to mom or dad and we say, Mom, Dad, I want. And we tell them something, and they're busy doing something. They say, well, how are you going to do that? Well, of course, the kid hasn't got any idea. And because he can't say how he knows it, well, so he gives it up. And that's why when people grow up, when they want something, if they don't know how to do it, they let it go. They've been doing it since they were little kids. They were directed to let it go. There's no money. We don't know how to do it. We don't know the right people. So we let it go. So we don't go after what we want. Most people set goals to do what they think they can do. There's no inspiration in it. That's why 90% of them set a target and they quit. They set a target and quit. When you're going after your heart's desire, you don't quit. I was living in England and I was earning all kinds of money. But I didn't know why. I didn't know how it happened. I'd been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you got to be really smart. Well, I didn't think I was really smart. In fact, I knew I wasn't. But I was earning a lot of money. I was raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't get a good job. I hadn't gone to school. I didn't have a good job. I owned the whole company. So then I started to think, I wonder how many things I believe are not true. Now, I was doing very well, but I didn't know why I was doing very well. I was what you call an unconscious competent. And you know, that's where most successful people are. And so I made up my mind I was going to figure out why was I winning. And then I really started to study. And that's what took me to Nightingale Conant. It took me 9.5 years. And when I figured it out, all I wanted to do was teach it. That's all I did. All the energy there ever was or ever will be is omnipresent. It's evenly present in all places at the same time. You don't get energy, you release energy. You're just an instrument that energy flows through. Desire is the triggering mechanism that releases the energy. When you've got the desire, you've got the energy. If you haven't got any desire, you haven't got the energy. So you're a channel that it flows through. And when there's no desire, that's all.
Blocks everything.
If I want to do something, I find somebody that's already done it. And then I do exactly what they tell me. It's a simple rule to follow. I don't read novels. I don't watch movies. I'd watch documentaries or things like that where I can learn. I'm only interested in studying something that can cause me to become more of what I'm capable of being. See, I think we're all hardwired to do something really special with our life. And that's all I want to do. I'm really good at what I do. I could walk by a person in the hall and like that, I could tell them exactly what they're like. I could read their energy like a book. Everything goes on the inside, shows on the outside. See, we're gifted with faculties of the mind that the average person knows nothing about. You have intuition, the will, reason, imagination, perception, memory. That's what separates us from all the rest of forms of life. We go through school and never learn anything about it. Like you'll hear people say they have a bad memory. There's no such thing as a bad memory. Everybody has a perfect memory. It's just weak. They've never developed it. Our imagination. Your imagination is the most magnificent. Hill said it's the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world's ever known. I can use my imagination to project myself into the future and bring the future into the present and start living there. You work from the imagination. You don't work to it. You work from it. Nobody can do it for them. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can do it for me. You got to do it for yourself. You've got to wake up. You see, all we're ever going to get is awareness. We've already got everything. The only thing we lack is the awareness of what we've got. We're God's highest form of creation. There's nothing on the planet that will equal us. Well, that's all any of us are after. Most people that are teaching don't know what they're teaching. 80% of the people that teach have never done what they're teaching. There's very few people who understand this. Very few.
Really understand it.
I've been in it. I think probably I'm in the business longer than anybody's been in the business that's still living. I think Jim Rohn come in
Wonderful guy.
almost a year ahead of me. You only met him once. Jim and I worked. We both got hired to work for a company, the same company at the same event. And so that's when we met each other. Now we knew of each other. I think we respected each other. But we're like thieves in the night. We're always traveling somewhere, going somewhere to do something. Jim knew what he was doing. Most people in this business, I don't think really know what they're doing. There's a few that do, but most don't. Like I think Jack Canfield does. I think Mark Victor does, you know. Jim certainly did. I have worked all over the world. I mean, all
Right.
over Asia, China, South America, North America, Europe. And I'm always asking people, what do you really want? And I have found most people don't want to be really wealthy. What they do want is they don't want to have any financial concerns. If they want to buy a new suit, they can go and get one. If they want to take a trip, they can take the trip. If they want a new car, they can get the new car. They don't want to just run out and spend or buy. They don't want to have any financial concerns. 2, they want to wake up in the morning excited about how they're going to spend their day. And the 3rd, they want to mix with people who are upbeat and creatively productive. These are the 3 things that people really want.